to the Single Parent Podcast, where we not only come together to discuss the ups and downs, ins and outs of single parenthood, but how we could support one another along the way in order to develop and maintain healthy relationships. I'm your host, Natalie. Thanks again for tuning in. Now, by this time, I would hope that you've already seen job search tips video that I posted a couple weeks ago. I kind of just went over my history and how I got started as a job coach, how I was able to help people, find the best jobs for them, but not just find the best jobs for them, also help them prepare. I think it's something when you have somebody there with you to kind of go through the ups and the downs of a process, especially like going out and finding a job. Like, you're only kind of concerned about that when you need to find a job. But my job as a job coach was to help people on a daily basis. So I really got the experience of helping people find a job, but also preparing for that process and make that process a little easier for them. In this episode, this is called Job Search Tools I Use. So in the first video, where I was kind of just giving you some job search tips and giving you kind of like an overall plan of what I would develop for myself if I was looking for a job, I did kind of touch on some tools that I use in my job search preparation process, right? So when you're doing these applications, you're sending them out. The first thing they know about you is your resume and your email. So in using your email, which I prefer to use Gmail, just because it's has so many other different features, such as the calendar. You can also organize your email. So if it comes from a certain sender, you can put it in a certain folder, right? So if I want to keep all my emails that is pertaining to, let's say I applied at Best Buy, for example, I want to keep all my emails that I'm receiving from those Best Buy hiring managers in a certain folder. So that way I could just pretty much pull those up quickly, and any new emails that come in get filtered into that folder, and it keeps things kind of organized. You could do that, right? Starring. So if I get an email and I can't really organize it right now, I can't really read it right now thoroughly like I want to, because the key is you also want to read the emails that you're getting from these job responses in detail, because there's things sometimes at the very bottom of the email that are stated, but they wanted to make sure you read the entire email. So they'll only put it on the bottom. That was a tactic we used to use as recruiters when we would post job descriptions. We would put a key piece of information at the very bottom of that, just so that I know I'm only going to get back to those people that are following that key direction in that last sentence of that email. So those are only, so those are ways that people filter us out without us even knowing. So you making sure that you're reading all the emails, and then I star them, right? So if I can't get to it right now, I'm going to star it, and it kind of keeps it in that folder, a separate folder called starred on the left side. I would highly advise that anybody who is not really computer savvy, tech savvy, email savvy, we have kids, we have grandkids, we have nieces and nephews, we have close friends that may be younger than us or more tech savvier than us. Lean on them for help. It's okay. Until you can get yourself. Some people don't ever need to be that, because let's say their job involves cleaning or fixing of some kind, they just don't want to, unfortunately certain people don't want to learn to be tech savvy. Or maybe they feel they don't need to, right? But you can get a family friend to help you with those things. Alarms. I would set so many different alarms, like just so I could be on time for my interviews. Just in general, I'm a person that, it's hard for me to get up no matter what time it is. I have to have more than one alarm. And I had to know that about myself, right? It's okay. Everyone's not perfect. We're all, we all struggle. And so I know that's a struggle of mine. So I try to make up for it by using many different alarms. That keeps me on track. I even have an alarm. My daughter was laughing at me because I have an alarm that tells me it's time to leave. Because again, I'll be so caught up in getting ready for where I need to go and what I need. I could get sidetracked with my ADD brain. And it's not cute. Google Maps. I Google Maps the, location of where I'm going to interview. If it's me going to an actual interview on site, at least 24 to 48 hours in advance, especially if you don't drive. And even if you do drive, right? Because you want to know, is there parking around that area? You want to do some research on that. For drivers, I'm not sure. Chime in the comments if you have any suggestions. Is there an app that you can go to as a driver that will tell you, whether or not, how can you tell as a driver that there's good parking in an interview location that you're going to? Comment below if you have that answer. For me, again, I ride the train. I'm a New York City girl, and the bus. So, even if I did, drive, I probably would still take the train and the bus, because us New York City people know that it's probably the most reliable, especially like midday. If I had a car, I wouldn't want to move my car. So I probably would take the bus and the train anyway. Definitely want to Google that 24 to 48 hours in advance to see how long it takes me. And then I'm always giving myself at least 15 to 30 extra minutes, just because it be traffic and it be delays. People know who ride the trains on New York City. It's always something going down. Got to, account for sick passengers or some suspicious activities or train traffic or red light. The different search engines that I use, or social media platforms or websites I use, are Google. I obviously Google a lot of the jobs that I'm looking for. LinkedIn. I've touched on this in the previous video, but definitely LinkedIn. LinkedIn also has jobs that they list. If, for example, I want to work for Crafts, let's say, the company Kraft, Kraft, I can look them up on LinkedIn. I can then find hiring managers in my area that I can then try to connect with and get my resume to them, or try to see if there's a job fair going on. A lot of these companies post job fairs and open hiring events on the websites and on their LinkedIns as well. Going to the actual, so again, in the first video, create an intention, create a goal, right? List all of the jobs you're interested in, narrow them down to 2 to 3 main ones, right? But within those, list also companies you would like to work for. When you are in a certain field, you hear of top companies in those industries: retail, Target, Walmart. You know more or less, when you get into a certain industry, who are the top companies in that field. Make a list of companies that you're interested in working in. Follow their LinkedIn, go onto their social media pages. There's a lot of times, a lot of these companies, a lot of these organizations, a lot of these establishments are posting on social media. They know that social media is a great resource for them to find great candidates. Glassdoor. I know quite a few years back, and I think it's still relevant today. Glassdoor was a website that I would go to very often. You would be able to look up companies, look up the type of jobs that they have available, but also you would be able to see anonymous people review these companies and the actual interview processes. They'll tell you what interview questions were asked. They'll tell you how the interviewer made them feel. Sometimes they'll tell you the name of the interviewer. But it just was a really great tool, and it kind of helped me stay away from those companies who are not really invested in their employees, and kind of go with those that were trying to get great candidates and offer a great working experience. Idealist.org was also a website that I frequented when I was looking for those nonprofit opportunities. I know that Idealist.org was big in, posting those nonprofit jobs. I feel like I definitely did get some really great responses from that. Indeed, everyone knows that. Career Builder, everyone knows those websites. But also, what you want to do is, like I said in the previous video, when you going onto these social media pages, onto these LinkedIn profiles of these companies, join the groups within those pages that you see. They are little groups here or there. There's a website on Facebook called Jobs in NYC, or NYC Jobs, one or the other. There might be both. And I follow those pages very often. I sometimes post it on them. Jobs that I was looking to help recruit for companies when I was, working as in recruiting. And it really helped get me a lot of clients, but it also helped get me a lot of businesses that wanted to work with me, because they saw that I was professional. I had my own LinkedIn profile. I also had my own social media presence, which was pretty pretty nice. Like it wasn't ratchet and ghetto. So I think that they trusted to work with me because the fact that matters, people do look you up. And they do try to see like who they potentially will hire. And if they see something they don't like, the fact that it matters, they can kind of be biased without you even knowing. So, be conscious of that. If you're going for more corporate, professional type of job, clean up your social media a little bit. You don't have to post your drunken nights all the time. I know we grown, but I'm just saying there's a time and a place. You could hide those posts for a certain amount of time until you solidify yourself in your role, or you land the type of job that you want, or you become the entrepreneur you want, right? Then you can do whatever you want to do. But again, knowing what people are looking at, I think is key. And it's going to help you be more knowledgeable moving forward. I would usually, again, also use the resources that are available to you. Like I said in the first video, who's your personal network, right? You should have created your personal network from family members, former bosses, former coworkers, people that work in establishments, organizations that you want to work for, or something similar to it, right? Those are key people that you're going to create your own personal network of. You're going to reach out to them every single week. Me personally, I reach out to them in the beginning of the week to see then how I could create my job search schedule for that week ahead. I'm asking them about the jobs. If there are no jobs, what is going on? What are new jobs that are coming up that could be available to me? Because you never know. The world is changing every single day. Jobs are changing. Technology is changing, right? And so everything has an effect on everything else. You have to be willing to learn and kind of step out of your norm if you really want to, continue to succeed. Going to the program. So if there's a program like Workforce One or Jobs Plus, for just to name a few, right? There's so many more. Look in your neighborhood, find what programs those are. Keep in touch with them, making sure that you're doubling back with them every week. Okay, is there anything? Sometimes they keep in touch with you. They might send you a job email blast. If you know there's a job blast going out and you're not getting that, hey, can you add me to that? I'm just not getting them, and I want to be, if there's weekly interview sessions, can you count me in on that? I just need some practice time. Even if you feel like, trust me, I've been there when I thought, oh yeah, no, I got this, I'm good. Practice, please, especially if you have not interviewed in a long time. Practice with someone who knows what an interview is supposed to look like, or at least someone who can give you the best advice of, you know what, girl, I think you shouldn't have said that, or what about this question? Like, answer this question. They may bring up something that we may not think of. So practice, please, I urge you. Job fairs and open calls, again, utilize them to your advantage. It's scary, I know. So go in person. Hi, how are you? My name is so-and-so. I have X amount of years of experience in this industry doing X, Y, and Z. I have these skills and these abilities. I've learned this along the way, and I feel that I could contribute this to your organization. I would love to schedule some time to further discuss my skills and qualifications and how they will add to your company's goals and values. Let me know when, we can do that. If you're not able to do that, then, again, you really need to practice, and it's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Job fairs are also, again, a great way to gain more connections into your network. I've said this in the previous video. You want to, yes, go to the job fairs, with the intention, I'm going to get a job. But also understand that even if you don't, you've made some connections. You should be getting business cards. If not, are you on LinkedIn? Or can I get your email? Always send a follow. Thank you so much for taking the time out to discuss with me what your company does and what they're looking for. I look forward to scheduling some time to follow up and see if I'm a good fit for your organization. There's no harm in that, right? Again, you also never know who you might meet. It may not be the person in front of you that's going to give you the opportunity. They may refer you to the person who will. So again, keep in mind, you want to just kind of let things flow. Let the lateral energy of the room take its course, but also take responsibility and prepare yourself for that as well. Again, practice interviewing until you're absolutely comfortable. And again, you may not be 100% because, especially in the beginning, the first couple of interviews, I would say, first handful of interviews are going to be pretty nerve wracking. Whether it's on, people think, oh, it's on the phone. It's not. No, it's still, even when it was just audio phone calls. Remember those phone call interviews when people would call you and screen you? They're like, I remember people telling people, oh, if you smile on the phone while you're speaking to the person, that'll actually translate over the phone to the other person and they'll feel that positive energy. And then they're going to want to interview you face to face. That kind of was what a phone screening was, I'm going to screen you out. I'm going to see if you're worth me taking the time to bring you in face to face to have an interview. That was kind of the different type of pre-screening or Zoom interview prior to Zoom. So that's really funny how times have changed in that aspect. But still in all, you need to be prepared for any type of interview. A phone interview, a Zoom interview, or a face-to-face interview. And again, all that really is the more confident you are in describing yourself, your abilities, your skills, and your accomplishments. We're all not perfect, but we should all have a story to say that I experienced this obstacle in my previous role, and this is how I overcame it. Plain and simple. There's no magic to it. It's just being able to communicate, right, in a clear way to somebody else who has a possible opportunity for you that you have these abilities and this is what you're capable of doing. And it will benefit them if they utilized you with your capabilities in order to, become a better company. Definitely, I feel like, having these videos and having these conversations around job search brings me back to my roots. And I'm so grateful to, bring to you guys the experience that I've had. Because again, like I said in the first video, the reason why I became a job coach was because I really wanted to put my people on. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a lot of discrimination that goes on, whether you're a female, whether you're Black, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're Native American, whether English is not your first language. I've seen so much discrimination go on, and they use things like having a degree, or they'll use things like, your complexion or, who you are, your gender as a way of, getting what they want. But in actuality, there's so many of us out there who don't maybe have those characteristics and still are worthy of getting great opportunities. This is why I became a job coach. It really bothers me to see our people continue to be pushed further back, not realizing that we really have the ability to turn it around, to really say, what, despite this, I don't have this, I do have these skills and I do have these qualifications. And so again, like I said in the previous video, if you're going for an opportunity and it doesn't stick, then it just wasn't for you. Just move on, continue to walk in your purpose, continue to work on you, continue to evolve and grow, and you'll be exactly where you need to be. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have found this video or any other video important, you've learned something from it, please share, subscribe, like, comment on my YouTube channel, The Single Parent Podcast. We have so many more episodes coming up soon. Can't wait to share them with you guys. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at NATALEED 24 or at The Single Parent Podcast. Again, thank you. If you also have some questions around job search, what is the hardest thing for you about job search, you can definitely hit me up in my DMs, in my inbox, schedule a one-on-one with me, book a one-on-one with me. We can go through, what you need to do to better prepare yourself. In the meantime, again, I'm your host, Natalie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, thank you for watching the Single Parent Podcast.